Wednesday and Thursday. We're going to be talking pop culture, true crime, anything that's going on really that's vibrant in our
Yeah,
community
anything
and
trending.
national. And we really enjoy everyone's comments. Very interesting. We also wanted to give a huge shout out. This is the Black Knight of the Fresh Roasted Coffee Company, freshroastedcoffee.com. They've been very kind to us. Beautiful coffee. It's so, even when I like it real strong, it's not bitter. I'm telling you, you get this coffee, it is so good. So thank you, Fresh Roasted Coffee Company, for supporting us and for being the sponsor of this show. Now, Florence, there's a lot going on, a
Oh
lot
my
of
goodness.
drama, especially in the NFL world.
S-
Let's talk it.
Sports media is all a buzz. I mean, people are going crazy. Bill Belichick, let's talk about it. Apparently, they decided that he is not going to be a Hall of Famer, that he did not make the first round pick. And everybody is very upset about it, including Tom Brady, because he has put out how much Bill Belichick means to him and all that Bill Belichick has done for him. The two of them were definitely a team on the New England Patriots and they became friends. Obviously, it was more than just a professional relationship. And not just Tom Brady, but so many others in the sports world are so upset about this. And they feel he deserves to be in, and he deserved to be in the first round. And why he isn't is just a shock to many, many people. But I will say this, I was kind of surprised that there were a few people who maybe didn't think he should be. But I would say right now it's like 80-90% think that he should. Now, James, I know you have your opinion on this too. And I will say the overwhelming support of him I thought was really special, especially in New England on the East Coast. It just seems that everybody felt the same way. Some people, like I said, did not, and they voiced their opinions. But definitely, I would say the majority thinks he should be in.
Now, I think pretty much everyone thinks he should be in, and
Yeah.
he's going to be in the Hall of Fame. You've got to realize who votes for the NFL Hall of Fame. It is the sports writers. And usually, the East Coast bias, I'm sorry, the bias of the media is brutal. If it happens there, it's like that's the only place in the world that matters. And you have to also realize that the New York press, most of them don't watch West Coast games because they're asleep. They end a lot later. It's brutal watching West Coast football in the East Coast because it's so late. But for years, until there was really a lot of nationwide, until really the 80s, the East Coast was the king of all the media. And for years, I wrote an article that went viral and it kind of got me into whatever I do with Ken Stabler, the famous Raider Hall of Famer quarterback. He was obviously a Hall of Famer, the greatest left handed quarterback. And don't give me Steve Young, 49er fans, greatest and most clutch left handed quarterback of all time during the most brutal rules, the most brutal time in the NFL. It's not like today. If you touch someone in the helmet, they call the cops. It was very rough and very brutal. Uh, and what ended up happening is there was a big thing with a reporter from the West Coast that was literally hounding Ken Stabler because he had a bad year. And he flew to Alabama and literally went to his restaurant to ambush him and said, I'm going to write this. If you want to comment, you comment. Well, it ended up happening, and people have been, and you're right. I'm going to put this next weekend. I'm going to put this on video. We're going to have the story of it. It is crazy. But what ended up happening is one of Ken Stabler's friends planted cocaine. Ken didn't know. That's not Ken's style. Planted cocaine on the guy, and the cops literally told this reporter, "Get out of Dodge." And Mr. Zimmerman and if you ever, I followed the draft in the 70s and 80s when I was just a kid. I was always fascinated with the draft. And Paul Zimmerman He was called Mr. Z, Dr. Z, I believe, and he was the king of the draft, the NFL draft. Well, he got a vendetta when he heard about this story, thinking that Ken Stabler had intimidated him and had messed with him. So he literally said, I am going against Ken Stabler to being in the Hall of Fame forever. And he admitted he's the only player I went against in the history of voting that I had a vendetta against, that I purposely got others to not vote for him. So that's why Ken Stabler didn't get in the Hall of Fame. It took so long, and they punished him, and until he would pass away, then he finally got in, which is a crock.
Well, why do you think Bill Belichick didn't get
Well,
it?
this is what I'm getting, is that what you don't realize is that Bill Belichick was probably the most meanest, most difficult. How would you like to go to work every day knowing if you work with a guy like this, he's going to treat you like garbage? And don't tell me that he was just stoic and all that. No. His one-word answers, he wouldn't answer. He'd look at you like you were an idiot. He did that for years. He treated people horribly. Now he wants those same people to defend him and vote for him to get into the Hall of Fame first ballot. This is punishment for all those years. Is it right? No, but it's also not right to treat people like garbage. So that's why Bill Belichick did not get voted in the first ballot.
Now, can I say this? Some people, and again, just some people online, not a lot of people, but a few people have wondered if it had anything to do with his current situation, his current personal life with the young cheerleader girlfriend, beauty pageant contestant girlfriend. Everyone has different opinions about his love life. I mean, obviously it's his business and nobody else's. But of course, the media, has reported on it a lot. And some people just wondered if that has tarnished his legacy at all. What do you think?
No.
Okay.
It's tarnished him as a person because he does look like a fool, telling people that the girlfriend likes his eyes. I mean, give me a freaking break. She likes your wallet. I mean, let's be real. Old rich white men don't stay single long. I mean, let's just be real.
Yeah. I again, it's his business. Does
Yeah.
it look silly?
I don't care.
Yeah,
I mean, when
it looks
she's
silly.
walking up to him and he's on the field and she's asking for money so she could go to the concession stand, it looked like a granddaughter going to her
Yeah.
grandpa getting money to go get a hot dog. It was the most ridiculous thing.
I don't think it's that either.
No.
But I will say this. The work he did with Tom Brady was exceptional. I mean, they had a long, successful run. They were at the top for so long.
But was it him? Because he was a defensive guru, and they did have good offensive coaches. They had great offensive players, Wes Welker, some other ones that were just great players, great defenses. But here's the thing. I am not a Bill Belichick worshiper. He's not the best coach in history, in my mind. No way. They were horrible. North Carolina was horrible last year. Very unorganized. He even said he was kind of overwhelmed with the college way, because you got like 80 guys on the sideline. Bill Belichick's record as a professional coach without Tom Brady as his quarterback is 83 and 104. Now, he was horrible. He had one and a half good years at Cleveland. He was horrible there. And when Tom Brady left, they really struggled. Is it Tom Brady that was the key to this? Or I think he's a great coach. I don't think he's this icon that in today's media, oh my God, everything's the greatest. That's the greatest candy.
You do agree, though, that he should be in.
Oh, he will be in.
Yeah.
I mean,
I admit, I was surprised because I always, when you think of Tom Brady, you think of Bill Belichick.
I warned Patriots fans.
So
I said, you do not understand. I know people. We're friends with people on the NFL Hall of Fame. We know people that are affiliated. I know voters, and I know how they are. When Ken Stabler, I was part of the group that helped Ken Stabler get in the Hall of Fame. I did very small part, but I was a part of it, and I had direct contact with the mentality of some of these sports writers, and they were waiting for this. Some of them were waiting for this, and I'm telling you, he'll get in the next time or the time after easily. He'll be unanimously voted in, but this was payback, and I told people he's not a foolish balloter, and people, oh, you're idiot. Who are you? You're not gonna you don't know anything about football. And they said, you don't know anything about voters. And
Yeah, this was surprising. Like I said, I believe, and like you said, he will be in. I
oh
was just
sure,
shocked
he
he
is a
wasn't
Hall
in
of Fame core, great
the
coach.
first time.
Yeah,
But when I saw yesterday how it was trending, how it went viral, it was shocking to me. And all these people spoke out. A lot of people in the media, a lot of big names, people in the industry and sports media, they were shocked and they were angry. So I agree with their sentiment. I think he definitely should be in. And like James said, eventually he will because he
yeah.
deserves to be there.
I'm a realist, and I told, oh gosh, I got destroyed on a Patriot site. Absolutely, the names would make a trucker blush, and I was right. See, that's the thing is I deal with reality. What was that rap song? And Diddy had to be in it, but it says, "You don't gotta like me. You're just mad because I tell it how it is, and you tell it how it might be." And that's kind of people don't like what you say sometimes, but I'm telling you, that's the reason why he wasn't. This was a big F whatever
Yeah.
to Bill Belichick for all those years. He treated people like I mean, they said I forgot one guy said I would rather interview an alligator in a swamp than talk to Bill Belichick. I mean, it's just that's the way he is, unless you're 26-year-old hot girl. So, but yeah, he'll be in the hall, no big deal. But this was sports writers are high fiving themselves, and there's a lot of them that don't like Belichick. So, hey, you treat people like bad, don't expect them to support you. Is it wrong? Yes, but that's the reason it happened. So, Tom Brady was in tears. No, he wasn't crying, but everybody was upset,
Yeah.
and
There were a lot
yeah,
of people upset. And he did express, and he has expressed Tom Brady over the years how much Bill Belichick meant to him because he gave him a chance. Remember when Tom Brady, started with the New England Patriots, I believe right out of college, he wasn't
no,
the
he didn't
super.
start right out of college.
When did he start?
He started after the other quarterback got hurt.
Oh, okay. No, I
That's why.
thought he started
He
right out of
had to
college.
play, and
But
yeah,
he said, he goes, I wasn't, anybody's hero walking on the field. Nobody looked at me and thought I was going to be the next big thing. But they gave him a chance. I mean, I guess, like you said, they had to, but he always remembered that they had this partnership that, he'll never forget.
yeah, and Belichick's going to be just fine. So let's not, in the wake of all that's going on in our country and the world, this is pretty low down the list of being tragedy.
Yes, there's a lot more going on. That's
But
a lot more serious.
but
But it was a
it
big
does
deal
suck.
yesterday
It
on
does
Twitter.
suck that he
X.
wasn't voted in, but I think anybody that's in the know in football knows why this happened, and a lot more people in the insiders are keeping their mouths shut because they know why it happened, and some of them were a part of it. So it had Barry Bonds, another guy. You treat people poorly. Don't expect them to be your biggest fans when you need them. So, but that's the reason. What else is going on? And there is a lot going on.
Well, I know that the Beckhams, and we've talked about this in other episodes, other lives that we've done. Victoria Beckham, formerly Posh Spice, she's now this big time clothing designer and very popular in the fashion world. And of course, she's married to David Beckham, who's the GOAT, soccer player,
Oh,
huge.
no, he may be the best looking. He ain't the GOAT.
Well, again, this is what people say online. I go basically through social media to see what people have been saying. And he is very popular. He was, and again, a very attractive man, of
Yep,
course.
great looking guy.
But there has been all that drama with their family. Reality TV show Come to Life because it is real life. It is their real family. Now, James, you had said to me that you thought this was all being staged and done
No,
on
I
purpose.
didn't say that. I said that a lot of people, as we were talking earlier, a lot of people are thinking when you are a celebrity or you're a big corporation and your post on Instagram and stuff, they incentivize them and they look at how much they're worth. And they were saying right now in the world of the Instagram world, theirs is the most profitable. God, I'm having a hard time today. Profitable post in the world right now on Instagram. So they're making the most money, getting the most views. It's just crazy. And some are saying the Beckhams are doing this on purpose because uh, Victoria Beckham is the only Spice Girl that doesn't have a #1 hit. How any of them have a #1 hit, that's for another show. Yeah.
Went solo.
So she is very upset about it. And she still is upset about it, even after years later. Her sons, if you notice on some of their posts, they even have her songs, her new song on their post in the background, trying to get people to get into it. And because they want it to act like it's natural, and they didn't do anything. It just happened. People loved it so much. So they're literally marketing for who did this. And a lot of people, I know some at TMZ had talked about this, is that maybe that they're doing this on purpose, kind of Kim Kardashian style, or Jennifer Aniston, I know, was famous for this, and Gwyneth Paltrow. They'd go to places and cover themselves, and then later years they were saying, TMZ would say, well, they called us to show up there. So celebrities are in their own world. That's why they fascinate them.
They say all press is good press. So as long as they're being talked about, and like James said, it's a moneymaker. Their drama, their family, all the stuff that like the son put out. He wrote that open letter, I guess, to his parents or to the world, because him and his new bride are just not happy. So they wanted to let everyone know why. And I just think things should be kept behind closed doors. But again, if it's making them money and it's getting them attention, maybe that's part of it. I still think it's crazy that people air their dirty laundry like that.
Celebrity, and you look at people's trying to be TMZ.
Everyone is.
They're being very, almost childish in their reporting. And it's just so much fun to watch these people, like if they break up or get a divorce or something. Oh my God, they will it's like a war. I've got to get my media into it and get them on my side. And then the other person's got to do the same thing. It's just crazy. If I was in Hollywood, I would never date anyone in Hollywood. It's just too crazy. Get someone that's just a regular job, regular person, and because that life just looks too insane for me, man. It's just crazy.
Yeah, all the drama.
But the Beckhams, it's good. They're going to be the hot family of this year. There's already stories of different reality shows for the future.
Will they be doing the next big reality TV show? Because again, that's a huge moneymaker, reality TV. It's still very popular. So a lot of people are saying that as well.
Yeah, Gordon Ramsay and his fam, which we love Gordon, but
yes, they're doing a 6-part docuseries on Netflix.
And they're not ashamed to say that they like the camera. So so they love the attention.
Except this time now it's going to be his wife and children.
Yeah.
Whereas before it was mostly Gordon in the forefront. So,
I don't get it.
So I'm excited about that.
And I love Gordon,
so
but
do I. That's why I'm excited.
But I'd rather watch paint dry than watch what his kids care about stuff. But God bless them.
Yes. No, I mean, hey,
God
happiness
bless
and
them.
health to all of them.
Yep, happiness and health.
Because he definitely has success in his life, and he's a family man.
Now, some of you go on some sites and look at the they're called prop bets, and if you're a regular football fan, you know exactly what these are. But a lot of people that watch the Super Bowl don't really
Mm-hmm.
watch all year, or they don't really study it. If you're a newer fan, if you're a fan that just kind of watches the Super Bowl, and that's cool, go and look up bets in AI or whatever wherever you search. They are the funniest things you ever. I cannot believe people and gambling in the UK. You think US gambles? Mm-mm. UK, I've seen dudes. I remember going to a pub one time and I went by myself. I just wanted to learn how to play snooker and billiards and all that stuff. And the guys were very nice to me. I got the best meal when I went to a pub. I don't know if it's still that way. It's literally homemade food. So I had roast beef and peas and mash. And oh my God, it was delicious with a Guinness.
Bangers and mash.
Yeah.
Isn't
Oh,
that what they eat? Bangers
yeah,
and mash.
for breakfast, I think, or and that's and dinner too. But I like bangers and mash. But it was a beautiful dinner, and I went outside, and the guys are yelling, and I'm like, "What in the world are they yelling?" They were betting on two worms that were crawling, and they had put a line, and which one would hit the. I'm like,
Are you
what?
when you say worms, you mean really
Real worms.
So we went from Super Bowl betting to worms?
Worms racing.
Oh my god.
So what ended up, so they said that literally the UK is the most betting country in the world. So they love these prop bets. But what ends up happening is that you could bet on what's the first song of the halftime show. What's the last song? What's going to be the longest song?
Wow.
Are there going to be who's going to get the first score?
How many shots of Taylor Swift? That was last
Yeah.
year. How many times will Taylor Swift be on the screen?
Yep.
How many close-ups? I heard that last year.
So there you have all these crazy things. Who's gonna catch the first pass? Who's gonna? I never do prop bets because prop bets is how these guys make a lot of money. Because the prop bets are very popular with newer fans, and it is kind of funny. I mean, it's fun. Put a couple shekels on it, but if you're putting big money on this type of stuff, you're crazy. But it's very. But look it up. You'll see some of the most craziest bets. They are so funny, and I think it's fascinating with the gambling that has come in for years. Baseball, football, and basketball. If you gambled and you were a player or an owner, you were banned and you were, fined. Alex Karras, the famous football player, Paul Horning, the famous football player, banned for a year for gambling. Now they are so in bed with gambling now that they're making all the money with it. Gambling good, gambling no bad
That
no
changed
more.
really
Yeah,
quick.
now
Gambling is so.
now that's all it is. So, but look it up because gambling, I forget how many billions of dollars is, and also how much are commercials going to be. I
For
haven't.
the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I haven't looked it up, but I think it was 30 seconds, millions and millions of dollars for 30 seconds, and the most famous one was that pet commercial years ago. They spent their last million or something on the commercial. The commercial went wild and they eventually went out of business. So I don't know if you want to do your last money on advertising for the Super Bowl. Who knows? But yeah, the Super Bowl is its own world. And some are saying it's the most biggest sporting event in the world. No, it's not even close. You look at the World Cup or even Euros. I mean, they're getting 1.5 billion to 2 billion people watching it. The Super Bowl gets what, 150 million, or I've never really looked at the crowds, but soccer, or what they call football, is the biggest sport. I mean, that's by far. Cricket's huge. Yeah, worldwide. Cricket's a huge sport. Rugby in some countries are real huge, but the NFL has always dreamed of being worldwide.
And I think they want to be in Europe more.
They want
that. They want to be worldwide.
They had the World Football League. I mean, I remember a lot of the teams and watching it. It was okay football, but they just. You're dealing with sports that are 150, 170 years old in Europe and countries. It's literally in their DNA. And you're saying, come play football. And just, I had friends in Germany that said, I have no idea what is going on, but we just went to the game because we wanted to watch it, and it was crazy. I think they were the Rhine Fire or whatever. They were fans of that team, and it's just crazy. But the Super Bowl is always fun. They do have a 2 week layoff this week.
Yes.
Sometimes they only have a week. The players hate it because they have media days, and you'll have. I remember one of the famous questions. I forget who it was asked by a Japanese reporter. Why is the football shaped that way? That was one of the questions. So you have to, as a player, you have to have a lot of patience.
Oh
But it's insane. But God, it's America. You know, it's our number one sport. Our most traditional pastime is always going to be baseball, but
yes.
the number one sport is definitely football. But what else is going on, Florence?
Well, really, the only other thing, the last thing I wanted to mention is I've noticed that Melissa Gilbert, who has been going through a lot of drama with her husband Timothy Busfield, since his release and since the judge is letting him travel and hasn't put any restrictions on him, I noticed she's back on social media, and I noticed that the celebrities who've befriended her since she was a child, because she did start, making TV shows and commercials and all that at a very young age, they've all come out in support of her, and they seem to really, really be there for her, be happy for her, put out, tweets and posts with their love and their support and wanting to, give them all the courage and just positivity that they can. And it seems like she's back on social media because for a while her account went dark. And of course, she had more important things to be doing and wanted to be there for her husband, physically supporting him. And since he's been released, she's been back, and it seems that things are looking up for them. They seem more positive. A lot of people do believe he's going to get off, like he's going to walk away.
Yeah, a lot of people are defending him on that set. And it's dangerous. Like if you listen to our live with Jen, that will be tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow we'll be with Jen again.
Yeah, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific with J.L. Rothstein, our good friend and author. So don't miss that tomorrow. We had talked about it, and the parents, especially the mom, it always seems to be the moms, but the mom would have the kids like go everywhere and give hugs and kisses, almost trying to be such a important part of everybody's lives that they would keep their jobs, and they ended up getting let go. And now she's saying, well, they didn't like that. They didn't like when they gave hugs and when they got hugs and kisses. You were making them. Yeah.
And so many people came out to say that was all the mom. Timothy never would go up to the children. He would never start conversations or try to hug them. That literally was, according to people who were there. Again, yeah. This is all alleged because nobody knows unless you were there. She would be the one to sort of.
It's so hard.
Have the kids do that.
So hard because that's the trump card. Someone could come up. I remember being sued when I was administrative director in a hospital. I got sued by someone who said I hated Spanish people. She actually did 2 things that were so horrible. She almost unalived someone. And I kept warning her. Finally, I said, you do anything, I'm going to put you on the lesser floors. You do anything, I'm going to have to let you go. Well, I let her go. Everyone defended her. I couldn't believe, she was a very nice person, just incompetent. And I remember going to the deposition, and the guy goes, yeah, the lawyer asked me, how long have you not liked Spanish people? And I said, well, since I'm Spanish, half Spanish, never. And he threw, case over. He threw his notes down and left. I mean, it was just, but if someone accused, but still.
It's sad because there are children who really have had this happen to them. Not by him or anybody in particular, but obviously there is, childhood abuse and trauma. And there are children who really have been victims. And that's the only thing that is horrible is that when something is not true, when it's a false allegation, because of course you always want to believe the children, you always want to believe the victim, but what if it's not true? Then when people really do have this situation, that's really hard for them, because then they're feeling like, God, if everyone's going to come out and say this, or for the people who do, and it's not the truth, how does that affect me if I want to come out publicly? Will people assume that I'm not telling the truth? And
And
I just think
and what
it's
I was getting
very
to is
difficult.
when you're lied about like that, think of them, because it took people still thought I was racist against Spanish people.
Even
And,
though you're Spanish on
but
your mom's side.
but the thing is, it spreads and it gets in people's heads, and they can't. Is he really? Does he not like it? Is he lying about being Spanish? I
It's
mean,
crazy.
I remember going through that and just thinking, oh my gosh, like I said, but again, you have people will say, well, women should come out more if they're sexually assaulted.
Well,
Well, are you kidding me? You have some politicians and athletes. Stefan Diggs supposedly had 4 women pregnant at one time, and he's Cardi, and they're trying to make it look like they're Trav and Kelsey, Trav and
a Taylor
Taylor,
Swift. Yeah.
and she's dressing like she's Whitney Houston in the 80s. And it's like, are you kidding me? He's got multiple women pregnant at the same time, and you guys are acting like you're Cinderella.
Well, the other side to this is Timothy Busfield. I mean, let's say they have the proof and they know that he is totally innocent, which a lot of people are saying that he is. How does he recover from this?
That's what I'm saying.
Like, I was just going to say, like the story you just told, what happens to him? What
There's
happens to
nothing
his
you could do
career?
to fix
How
it.
does he, especially because his was so public? This is world news. This is trended and went viral everywhere.
And if you don't
How
have,
to get
and
over it?
everybody has enemies in some way. And if you have people that don't like you, they don't need the truth, and they don't care about the
Their
truth.
version of the truth.
They're just going to see attack, 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 because
Yeah.
they know their venom will still infect the person and hurt the person, even if it's not true. And that's why you got all these trolls online that when they see something, they'll attack that person or attack them if they're not the right politics or if they're not the right football team. Look at me. I guess I get off a little bit on getting people to think about stuff, maybe too much sometimes. But you know, I look at things outside the box and what really is happening, and I really try to study how people think about things. And I think that's why I kind of can figure things out sometimes. And I think with this, everything I've read, I don't think he did it. And we'll see in court.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on this. We'll definitely be reporting on this and
Now defend to
letting everyone
defend
know.
Melissa Gilbert, and we have done work for people on Little House on the Prairie. We've done
Marketing.
we've
Books
done
and
marketing, we've done
interviews.
things like that. We've been asked to do some stuff, so we do like these people a lot. They're very genuine. Their families are awesome. It's hard. They have a fervent following by the millions, and people love them, and they love their fans. So it's hard for us a little bit to be unbiased, but we're also into the truth.
Yes.
And if he had done this, we'd be raking him over the coals. So I don't know. We'll have to see what
Yep,
happens.
we'll definitely be following this story and many more. So we just want to thank everybody for joining us again. Like I said, we're back on our schedule doing this 3 days a week, and we really do appreciate all your support.
And what we're going to do tomorrow is we're going to give a couple recipes that are amazing for the Super Bowl, for your party, Super Bowl party, or if you're just going. And these recipes are so quick and easy, and they're delicious. So we're going to give those to you, a couple of them tomorrow. We're going to post them on our Twitter and maybe even our Instagram, so you guys can enjoy it too. But thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. We'll be back tomorrow with Jen. We're going to be doing our author Q&A, and we're going to be doing some breaking news and
Yep.
pop culture.
3:00 tomorrow, and then what we'll do is we'll Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday come join us. We'll be talking pop culture, true crime. We're gonna really whatever's in the know, all the things that are occurring around our country, crazy, not too deep, but just having a lot of fun talking about it. So you guys have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. And I will be with Khaled. We're going to be
That's
talking
right.
hardcore NFL tonight. And Anna unfortunately couldn't make it, but we do hope she's doing good, and she's a good friend of ours. But we'll have another guest on next week. We do have some Super Bowl stuff happening too, but
Yes.
we'll be on in 2 hours at 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. with Khaled, who also had some drama from a great post he put up, and we're going to talk about that.
Yeah.
Patriots fans, you won't want to miss this one. So take care. Have a great day. Florence and I will see you tomorrow.
Thank you.